My name is Aaron Hansen. Kind of a joke around the house is based on my background. I get in a little bit here. My kids and my family never know what to call me, so they've kind of adopted a new term called Dr. Lieutenant Colonel. That's kind of developed because of 29 years in the Air Force, going through enlisted commissioning, attending a civilian institution to get a PhD, and then doing a lot of research within the cybersecurity realm. Over the past few years, so it's been kind of interesting for me. Dan Lloyd, the director of the TCP, has kind of allowed me or asked me to come in and introduce some of our big hitters that are going to come up next. That'll talk in more specifics about the research areas. But for me, my experience within the cybersecurity realm has been 20 plus years. And cybersecurity 20 years ago looked a lot different, especially from a military background. It was really an approach of we need to post a sentry or a guard at a key asset, or we may need to do random patrols around things to physically look at and physically observe what's going on. And then over the years, that has really evolved into using technology and automation in our benefits. So this is kind of where the growth is happening and where it continues to go. So with my experience with the military, the civilian PhD, currently working with NSA Colorado, the research areas specifically focused within critical infrastructure protection, and being a new adjunct faculty here within the TCP program, they asked me to come in and see if I could introduce these big hitters. So the program's been around for a while, 20 plus years. It was newly minted or newly retitled from Interdisciplinary Telecommunication Program to the Telecommunication or to Technology, Cybersecurity and Policy. And looking at the trifecta of those, how those interact with each other in kind of a holistic approach to continue to do research and get advances within the various areas. The core topics here, the big four, network communications, you'll hear about that a little bit later from Levi and Kevin. They'll bring that one home. But and I'm going to focus a little bit more on the cybersecurity, but looking at like a traditional CIA model is what we knew when we think of cybersecurity. But we're also bringing in some new approaches in risk thinking, systems thinking, as well as adversarial thinking. What is the adversary going to do? How do we understand our own systems, and then understanding what someone may want to do to them so that we can protect and harden those. And coming at this from a standpoint of how do we protect, detect, and then respond to these critical systems. So within the cybersecurity realm, there's really four big areas where TCP is doing research. One of them being cybersecurity in vehicles, looking at the sheer volume of the ubiquitous networks, everything from what you would know as a tire pressure monitoring system to how those connect and interact with telematics, with infotainment, with Wi-Fi, and it just becomes a very broad landscape. The second one being more cybersecurity in space. So within the environment at CU, building upon the strong network and telecommunications foundation, research foundation, space and aerospace seem to be a natural progression. So we look forward to future opportunities there. The third one being more cybersecurity within military and defense, and we do have a lot of projects and research areas happening within the defense industry base, as well as within various agencies here local to us within Colorado, as well as outside the state. And the last one being what you see up here is the Internet of Things or cyber physical systems. So what does a tron or what does an electron or what does a bit or a byte do, and how does that have a physical effect to some sort of operation or some sort of process out in the field. And then finally, when we look at strategy and management, looking at the risk assessment piece of that, not only risk, but what is the gain loss? What is the intel gain loss? What is the operations gain loss? What is the impact to production and to our bottom line? So those are some of the big areas there, our big four items, as well as the cybersecurity research areas. When we look at this slide here, please focus not just on the degrees offered, but look at the numbers of the students. So I kind of look at this as research opportunities. Within this industry, we're expected to see 1.8 million workforce shortage by 2022. Within the state of Colorado itself, we have approximately 10,000 unfilled, what you would call cybersecurity jobs. So this is the TCP under the CU banners piece and trying to fix that or address those issues. We also have, and a lot of these netting salaries that are 3 times, the national average. So there's a lot of interest in this area. The TCP is really interested in the growth of the ecosystem itself. So how can we pull together the students in the various capacities within technology, cybersecurity, and policy working together to influence the community, influence the research that happens within the community. And the overall is to develop strong cyber leaders, but not just cyber leaders, but cyber leaders in conjunction or within collaboration of engineering experts. So we do have a lot of strong partnerships within military and defense already. We're looking for new partnerships, not looking for new partnerships for the sake of just trying to get research dollars and chase every single research project out there. Doing so wouldn't really benefit the customer, wouldn't really benefit the students. Looking at some sort of focused niche, where can we apply the resources and our expertise to further research? We're not trying to compete with the big hitters or other big hitters, such as MIT or Carnegie Mellon. They've got their niches. We're looking to come in with the natural progression of what we see now within networking, telecommunications, military defense, space, and cyberspace, as well as aerospace. So with that, looking at the various research projects, the proven achievement that we have, as well as the talent management within us, and looking at an overall, how do we make sure that every time we come to bat, we hit a home run. So with that, then, I'm going to transition and introduce the next few speakers that are the big home run hitters. So I think Kevin Gifford is up next.